Guys, listen up. In this video, we're going to talk about the best shotgun there is when it comes to endgame. A lot of you are going to be, but Pip, isn't the best shotgun the Breaker? It's easy peasy, right? Like everybody's using it. It's so easy to use. It has good damage. So what are we even talking about here? Well, the reality is Breaker isn't the best. And on top of it, it just got a nerf. So its magazine went from 16 to 13, and the recoil also got increased from 30 to 55. But even before the nerf, there was one beast that was better. And the shotgun that we're going to be discussing today is the one and only Slugger. And I'm going to explain to you, or should I say, I'm going to try to explain to you why I think the Slugger is better. Another thing is that while the Breaker got nerfed, the Slugger got buffed. Ammo economy is way better now. Before the buff, you had 40 total shots, and now you have 60. And keep in mind, this discussion is going to be about the end game, so higher difficulties, where, for example, if you're playing against the bugs, there's like overwhelming amounts of enemies that are pushing you. We the other day had a game where at some point we had 10 plus chargers running at us like crazy. It was absolutely insane. And in this case, the biggest problem that you're gonna have is the armored enemies. And by armored, I mean medium armored enemies. You see, the Breaker is a great weapon. It really is. But where it really struggles is the medium armor. And when you have multiple medium armored enemies running at you, it becomes a problem. Because if you don't take the medium armored enemies out fast, there's gonna be more and it spirals out of control. And then there's insane amounts of ads on your screen, and it becomes harder to move around, survive, then you're getting slowed, hit, all the crazy stuff. In this clip right here, I'm using the Breaker against a medium armored target. You will see I used all of my magazine shooting at this enemy, and it was still alive. Now, a lot of people will be like, but Pip, you're shooting it in its armor, you need to go around it, everything like that. Now, first of all, in the chaos and the craziness of Helldive difficulty, you're not always going to have the ability to flank these enemies at the exact angle you need to in order for the weapon to succeed, when the Slugger absolutely destroys them through the armor. There's a difference there. So the mission you're going to have on higher difficulties is take out the medium armor enemies as quickly as possible, right? And that is where the Slugger shines. Now, a lot of people might not know, even though this weapon says the light armor penetration, it actually absolutely annihilates medium armor. In most cases, it's going to be 3 shots. Sometimes it can be inconsistent. The max I've needed on armored enemies is 4. Even if they're just slightly damaged, all of that becomes a 2-shot many of the cases. And you might be thinking, yeah, Pip, it might be decent for this, but the ammo economy is horrible. And I don't really think it's as bad as people make it out to be. It's a lot of shots. It is. And simply because you don't need as many shots to kill the medium armored enemies, you're not going to be running out all the time. And you can control your ammo economy with your supply drops, simply with the ammo drops around the map. And as soon as you play more and understand how the maps work, you can tell from afar where you're actually going to find ammo, right? And when you take all of these things into consideration, you're not going to be running out anytime soon. On top of that, you have your secondary weapon, which I think is another huge issue, because people tend to just spam their primary even on the smaller enemies, and then when they run out of ammo, they have nothing for the medium armor. What I usually do is use my secondary to take out the smaller enemies at all times, and then use the Slugger to destroy medium armor. Every weapon has a role, and if a weapon is really good at medium armor destruction, that's what you should use it for. The Breaker is good, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it. You should throw it away. But it is definitely not the best shotgun in the game when you have the Slugger. Think about it yourself. You have one shotgun that is very good for smaller ads, but it struggles with medium armor. And you have the second shotgun that is very good against small ads and even better against medium armor ads. And as we mentioned at endgame, medium armor is where the issue starts. And using the Slugger also gives you the ability to not depend on the railgun as much. If you don't want to pick up the railgun now, just don't pick it up. Grab something else. Or if you do have the railgun or any other stratagem weapon for that matter, you can keep that for the Bile Titans, for the tanks, and for the beefy guys, instead of wasting it on the medium armor enemies that are going to be in front of you. Because if anything, the stratagem weapon is the weapon you want to have ready at all times when shit goes crazy, when you have those very strong enemies in front of you. So why would you be wasting, for example, your railgun ammo on medium armored enemies when Slugger can do that easily? And that's where the Breaker falls off. If you have the Breaker, you're going to be forced to use the railgun more often against against medium armor targets. And overall, this definitely hurts your ammo economy more than just running the slugger. And by the way, I know that breaker can kill medium armored enemies, right? But it needs way more ammo, way more. And in that case, you're going to be running out of the ammo on your breaker faster. Then you have to use the railgun. Now you're wasting a lot of railgun on targets that you shouldn't. And I'm not saying you can't use it on those enemies. Of course you can. If you have fun, just do whatever it is. And in general, I feel like every single player should always be using what they want to use. These videos that I make, I'm not saying that, oh, you know what, you shouldn't be using that or you shouldn't be using that. I'm just telling you what's more effective, what's more efficient, and what's stronger when we move on to endgame. That's all it is, really. At the end of the day, if you're enjoying whatever weapon it is, that's what you should use. It doesn't matter what I say, what any other content creator says, or anyone in general. As long as you're having fun in the game, you do that. I think a lot of people have forgotten that gaming should be all about having fun, enjoying your time, and creating some awesome memories with your friends, or even if you're playing solo. So whatever you guys enjoy, do that. I'm just here to let you know that the slugger is the better shotgun when it comes to endgame, simply because how much more it offers. And it also feels so good when you just land those shots and you see those heads disappear on the bugs, for example. It feels absolutely beautiful. Not to mention the fact that even against robots, the fact that it is a precision weapon in a way, because it's a slug shotgun, makes it easier for you guys to take out the robots with one shot in many cases. Also, imagine a scenario where you don't want to use the railgun, for example, simply because you're bored, and maybe you want to use the recoilless rifle or the expendable anti-tank, autocannon, whatever it is, right? In this case, the slugger is amazing. Once again, it helps you to keep that ammo of those stratagems for stronger enemies, such as chargers or titans or tanks or hulks or whatever it is. And the fact that you have a primary weapon that does something better than some of the stratagems in the game is incredible. This weapon actually kills the medium armored enemies faster than some of the stratagems. You like the anti-material rifle? Well, combine it with the slugger, and then you can keep that ammo to snipe the enemies from afar instead of wasting your ammo on something that is right next to you. It's just a very good weapon. It truly is. So if you haven't tried it yet, make sure to grab it. You're not going to regret it. And once you do try it, give it some time. Don't just use it once and be like, nah, you know what? The breaker is easier. By the way, breaker is going to be easier to use, but just because something is easier to use doesn't mean it's better. That's when the skill gap comes in, right? You might have to spend a little bit more time on the slugger to get used to it, to land your shots. But once you do, you start realizing, oh, wait a minute. I don't care about medium armor targets anymore. I don't care about the small targets anymore. I'm just destroying all of these bugs. And now when I see the Titan, I know for a fact that my railgun ammo is good to go, so I can absolutely destroy those guys too. Make sure to try out the slugger, and make sure to let me know what you guys think about the weapon when you do. And if you are already using it, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Before I go, huge thank you to every single one of you guys for all the love and support, man. The streams have been doing absolutely amazing. And for all the people that don't know, I stream both on YouTube and on Twitch every day from Friday to Tuesday. We just started dual streaming and it's been an absolute blast. So once again, thank you for all the support. As always, stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you on the next one.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh, he got no scoped.